Before I start my story, please support the channel by subscribing and liking the video, and turn on post notifications. God bless you. My name is Pamela Anderson, and I have a near-death experience to share with you. I have spent many years helping people who struggle to make sense of their own spiritual experiences. I do this by offering simple strategies that I discovered during my own path of healing. My hope is that my story will bring you peace, understanding, and a sense of wonder about the journey we call life. Part 1, the unexpected goodbye. I was a dedicated teacher, pouring my heart into every lesson and caring deeply for my students. My days were busy, but I always tried to find moments of quiet for prayer or reflection. Little did I know that one ordinary day would become the start of a life-changing event. It began with a sudden, sharp pain in my chest. I remember clutching at my blouse, thinking it was just stress or maybe a panic attack. But the pain grew worse and I started to feel dizzy. The room spun, and the voices of my students faded away. In a flash, I lost consciousness. The next thing I knew, I was floating above my own body. I saw myself lying on the classroom floor, and a few of my students were rushing to get help. I felt no pain, only a strange calm. In that moment, I understood I was dying. Yet I was not afraid. Instead, a gentle pull drew me away from the classroom scene. I found myself in a vast, dark space that felt like the softest velvet. It was neither cold nor lonely. Instead, it felt peaceful, like a warm blanket on a cold night. I sensed other presences around me, though I could not see them clearly. The darkness was not scary, it was comforting, and it seemed to hold me in a loving embrace. In that velvety void, I felt the quiet hum of energy. It was as if the air itself was alive with a gentle pulse. My thoughts were clear, and I realized I was still me, but without a physical body. I felt free. Yet I also sensed that this was not the final destination. Something important was about to happen, something that would show me the deeper meaning of life, death, and the plans our souls make before coming to Earth. I did not see bright lights or tunnels at that moment. Instead, I felt a silent invitation to rest and be still. My mind was calm, and a wave of acceptance washed over me. As I allowed myself to float in that gentle darkness, a part of me knew that I was in a special place, one where souls gather to prepare for their journeys on Earth. My name is Pamela Anderson, and I have a near-death experience to share with you. I have spent many years helping people who struggle to make sense of their own spiritual experiences. I do this by offering simple strategies that I discovered during my own path of healing. My hope is that my story will bring you peace, understanding, and a sense of wonder about the journey we call life. Part 1, the unexpected goodbye. I was a dedicated teacher, pouring my heart into every lesson and caring deeply for my students. My days were busy, but I always tried to find moments of quiet for prayer or reflection. Little did I know that one ordinary day would become the start of a life-changing event. It began with a sudden, sharp pain in my chest. I remember clutching at my blouse, thinking it was just stress or maybe a panic attack. But the pain grew worse and I started to feel dizzy. The room spun, and the voices of my students faded away. In a flash, I lost consciousness. The next thing I knew, I was floating above my own body. I saw myself lying on the classroom floor, and a few of my students were rushing to get help. I felt no pain, only a strange calm. In that moment, I understood I was dying. Yet I was not afraid. Instead, a gentle pull drew me away from the classroom scene. I found myself in a vast, dark space that felt like the softest velvet. It was neither cold nor lonely. Instead, it felt peaceful, like a warm blanket on a cold night. I sensed other presences around me, though I could not see them clearly. The darkness was not scary, it was comforting, and it seemed to hold me in a loving embrace. In that velvety void, I felt the quiet hum of energy. It was as if the air itself was alive with a gentle pulse. My thoughts were clear, and I realized I was still me, but without a physical body. I felt free. Yet I also sensed that this was not the final destination. Something important was about to happen, something that would show me the deeper meaning of life, death, and the plans our souls make before coming to Earth. I did not see bright lights or tunnels at that moment. Instead, I felt a silent invitation to rest and be still. My mind was calm, and a wave of acceptance washed over me. As I allowed myself to float in that gentle darkness, a part of me knew that I was in a special place, one where souls gather to prepare for their journeys on Earth. The gathering of souls. In that velvety darkness, I felt a gentle pull guiding me deeper. I sensed other souls around me. Though I could not see them clearly, I felt their presence as soft pulses of energy. Each pulse carried a unique signature, like a quiet heartbeat that spoke of who they were. The darkness itself was peaceful, and it seemed to welcome all of us with open arms. As I floated there, I began to notice small points of light appearing here and there in the void. They glowed softly, like distant stars in a night sky. At first, I wasn't sure what they were, but then I felt one of them reach out to me. A warm, comforting energy touched my awareness, and I realized it was another soul trying to communicate. No words were spoken, yet I understood everything. It was as if our thoughts flowed together, sharing pure meaning without speech. This soul felt familiar, and I sensed we had known each other before. In fact, I felt we had planned our earthly lives together, choosing certain challenges and blessings so we could grow and learn. My mind raced with questions. How can we plan our lives? Why would we choose hardships? Yet the answers came to me as gentle understanding. I realized that Earth is like a classroom, and each life is a chance to learn lessons of love, compassion, and faith. I also sensed the presence of guiding beings. Some call them angels or spirit guides. They moved through the darkness like currents of soft light, helping souls find their way. Though I could not see them as clearly as I might see a person, I felt their kindness and wisdom. They seemed to know each soul's path, gently offering support. One guide in particular felt very close to me, as though we shared a strong bond. It gave me a sense of safety, like a friend who had always been by my side. At some point, I realized we were not just floating aimlessly. There was purpose here, a gathering place where souls come together to plan or reflect on their earthly journeys. It was as though each soul carried a map, and these guides were helping us review our choices. I could almost see faint outlines of different life events, like scenes from a play. Each choice we made on Earth would teach us something, and each lesson would help our souls evolve. This realization filled me with awe. I remembered moments in my own life, both good and bad, and saw how they were part of a bigger plan. Even painful events had a hidden purpose, leading me to growth and deeper understanding. My heart felt light, and I felt gratitude for every experience I had ever faced, even the ones that once seemed unfair or cruel. I also felt a wave of compassion for the people I had known. I understood that they, too, had chosen certain lessons. Some might seem unkind or distant on Earth, but here in the void, I sensed their true selves, beautiful souls seeking to learn and grow, just like me. In that place, there was no judgment. There was only acceptance and a deep love that wrapped around us like a soft blanket. At times, I caught glimpses of future possibilities, paths I might take if I chose to return to Earth. Each path had its own lessons, challenges, and joys. The guide near me gently showed me these paths, but never forced me to choose any of them. The decision I sensed was always mine. This freedom felt both empowering and a little overwhelming. How could I possibly decide? Yet, I knew I wasn't alone in this process. The other souls and guides were there, supporting and encouraging me. We were like travelers gathered in a station, each preparing for a journey back into the physical world. Some souls might choose a new life soon, while others might wait or even help from the spirit realm. I started to feel a longing, a call to return and continue my own earthly journey. Although this velvety void was peaceful and safe, a part of me understood that my mission on Earth wasn't finished. I remembered my students, my loved ones, and the goals I had set for myself. There was still much to do, many lessons to learn, and many ways to serve others. In that moment, I felt a gentle tug at my heart, as if the guide was saying, "Your time here is precious, but you still have work to do in the physical world." I wanted to stay, yet I also felt the importance of returning to share what I had learned. My mind swirled with thoughts of how I would explain this experience to people back on Earth, wondering if they would believe me or think I was imagining things. Even as my thoughts raced, the void around me seemed to grow brighter. The souls and guides glowed with a warm light, and I felt a deep love flow between us. It was a love that asked nothing, a love that was simply there, embracing me fully. I knew that, whatever happened, this love was real, and it would guide me when I returned. As I drifted further into the velvety void, I felt a calm that I had never known. The darkness around me was soft and gentle, like a warm blanket. I was not alone. I sensed many souls here, all gathered in quiet contemplation. It was a peaceful place, where everything worldly fell away and only our true selves remained. I began to see shapes in the darkness, gentle lights that moved slowly, as if they had their own purpose. I realized these lights were other souls, each with a story of their own. We were all here to plan our next journeys on Earth. In this sacred space, we looked back at the lives we had lived, the lessons we had learned, and the love we had shared. It was here that our souls gathered strength and hope before returning to the world of the living. I felt a pull toward one of the glowing figures. As I moved closer, I sensed a warm presence, like a caring guide. This guide did not speak in words, but I felt clear messages in my heart. It showed me visions of the paths that awaited each soul. I saw images of new beginnings, a fresh start filled with love, joy, and the promise of learning. I also saw warnings of choices that could lead to sadness and struggle. The guide gently reminded me that each soul has a free will and that our choices on Earth shape our journeys. In that moment, I remembered the words, "For I know the plans I have for you." Though not in any language I could speak aloud, they were simply known in my heart. I understood that my life, too, had been part of a grand plan. The painful struggles and the moments of joy were all pieces of a larger design. In this place, I saw that every hardship had meaning and every blessing was a gift. I watched as other souls exchanged silent looks and gentle touches of energy. There was a feeling of togetherness, a bond that went beyond any physical connection. It was as if we were all threads in the same tapestry, each of us important in the grand design of life. Some souls moved toward bright, hopeful visions of Earth, while others lingered in quiet thought, perhaps not ready to return. I felt neither sadness nor regret, only a deep understanding that this was a natural part of our journey. One soul, glowing with a soft blue light, came close and seemed to share a feeling of deep peace with me. I sensed that this soul had already found a path back to life, a plan filled with hope and purpose. I wished I could ask more, to understand all the details of these soul plans, but the energy around me was like a gentle tide, and I knew that soon my time in this space would draw to a close. I also felt the echo of my own life in this place. Images of my past, my struggles, and my moments of triumph played softly in the background. I saw faces of those I loved and those I had lost. I saw my own hopes and dreams, and I felt the pull of unfinished tasks and promises I had made. This place was not a final resting ground, but a preparation station, where souls regrouped and made decisions about their next steps. The guide then moved toward me again, and I felt an inner pull to listen. The silent message was clear. Every soul must decide its path. I saw images of new lives filled with purpose, where simple acts of kindness and love shaped the future. I also saw the pain of letting go of the past, of leaving behind all that once was familiar. Yet in all this, there was hope, a bright spark that reminded me that our journey is never truly over. In that velvety void, I felt that the struggles I had faced on Earth were not meaningless. They were lessons meant to guide me, to shape me into someone who could love more deeply and live more fully. I began to understand that my painful experiences, my losses, and even my moments of anger were all part of a process of growth. Every soul here, including mine, was on a mission to learn, to heal, and to return to Earth as a better, wiser version of themselves. I looked around and saw that each soul was busy planning the next chapter of their journey. Some were busy choosing paths that would bring them closer to love and understanding, while others hesitated, unsure if they were ready to face the world again. I realized then that this gathering was like a great meeting of hearts, where every decision was made with care and intention. A gentle warmth spread through me as I felt the presence of those guides urging me to prepare for the next step. I knew that soon I would have to make my own choice, to return to life and face the challenges of the physical world, or to stay in this peaceful void. The thought of returning to Earth filled me with both hope and a bit of fear. But I also felt that I was not alone. The love and guidance here were strong, and they would carry me forward. As the lights around me began to glow brighter, and the voices of the guides grew softer, I felt my awareness shift. I knew that I would soon have to leave this place, but I carried with me the deep understanding of how our souls plan their journeys on Earth. I promised myself that, when I returned, I would share this wisdom with others so that they might find hope and strength in their own struggles. As I drifted in that velvety void, I felt the gentle pull of time calling me back. The souls around me and the wise guides had shared their silent lessons. Each of us is here for a reason, and our souls plan our journeys on Earth. I knew then that my life was not over, but that I had been given a second chance to learn and to share what I had seen. A soft warmth began to wrap around me, like a comforting blanket made of light. I heard my guides whisper, "You are not alone. The pain you have known is temporary, and the love of God is with you always." Their voices, gentle and kind, filled my heart with hope. I felt their words echo inside me. Remember, you carry the light of God within you. Slowly, I sensed myself being pulled back toward my physical body. I recalled every lesson from that peaceful, mysterious space. The clear vision of our soul's plans, the deep understanding that every hardship taught us love and strength, and the knowledge that our choices shape our destiny. I realized my journey was not just about pain and loss, but about growth, healing, and a powerful connection to the divine. In those final moments of my time in the void, I saw a vision of my future, a path filled with challenges, but also with great hope. I understood that I must return to Earth not as I was before, but as someone who had seen the truth. I felt a deep responsibility to share this wisdom with others, to show them that even in the darkest times, God's love is never far away. Then, the light grew brighter, and my consciousness shifted. I began to feel the sensations of my physical body returning. I awoke in a hospital room, still in pain but filled with a new, lasting peace. I remembered every detail, the love, the hope, the gentle guidance of those souls, and I knew that my life had changed forever. In the days and weeks that followed, I set out to share my story with anyone who would listen. I wanted people to know that our lives are gifts and that every choice we make matters. I began helping others to understand that the struggles we face on Earth are not the end of our journey, but part of a larger divine plan. I learned that by turning to God, by embracing love and truth, we can all find a way to heal. Now I live with a renewed sense of purpose. I know that God is not far away. He is the light within us all, guiding us through every dark moment. My journey in the velvety void taught me that we are all connected, that every soul has its own plan, and that we can choose to return to life with a heart full of hope and determination. Thank you for listening to my story. May you find comfort in knowing that no matter how hard your journey, the light of God is always with you.